in God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
Okay, here's what I would have done. Bro, no one cares what you would have done. Actually, everyone cares. Welcome to Let Me Book the Territory, the podcast made for smart marks and nostalgia nerds. Brought to you by the Embrace the Turn-Up Podcast Network. And now your hosts, A-Dub, B.A., E-Ray, and J-Moe.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the greatest professional wrestling podcast of all time. Or, to quote, the Jericho Appreciation Society, the greatest sports entertainment podcast of all time. Which one? Are we pro wrestlers or are we sports entertainers?
Let's switch it up, man. We sports entertaining tonight, man.
Sports entertainers today.
We sports entertainers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let Me Book the Territory. I am the pod guy, the pod tribal chief, the phenomenal A-Dub Styles, if you will. And joining me back for the Agreeables Part 3 is the Quantum Leaper, B.A. DiBiase, BAP History. Ladies and gentlemen, B.A. is back in the building. B.A., what's poppin', man?
What's going on, Tribal Pod Chief? Sir, we the ones. Got to throw him up for my Tribal Pod Chief first and foremost. Secondly,
there it is.
What's good, people? B.A. DiBiase is back in the building. Quantum leaping like a motherfucker last week, man. I got stuck and had a deal made with Coco Beware to go check out the 10 times that Hulk Hogan has lied about something in the past. And I got stuck at the Silver Dome at WrestleMania 3 when he said he allegedly ripped his back muscles. So I was just chilling in the front row with all the good people in Detroit for WrestleMania 3. Different times, man. Detroit was a whole different vibe back then. But I'm back here, 2022, ready to talk about some current day wrestling. Yes. Much more dangerous.
And unfortunately, J-Moe is not joining us. I don't know if you heard, BA, but J-Moe is still stuck on his couch from yesterday's Dynamite when Jericho asked Daniel Garcia whether he was a sports entertainer or a pro wrestler. Daniel Garcia has not answered yet, and J-Moe is still sitting there waiting for an answer. He's watched a lot of Big Bang Theory, waiting for this answer.
Man.
So we'll see. Maybe we get J-Mo back next week. E-Ray told us to be creative with his absence, but damn it, he just keeps getting his ass beat in NXT parking lot. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know. I don't know. They told him to join the dyad. He said, yo, fix your eye, and they just whooped his ass. I don't know.
He tried to touch Homeboy's eyeball. He was not appreciating that. He was like, is that real? Is that thing real? He's like, oh, no, it's so gross. Oh.
Yeah.
He whooped his ass, and Gacy was just watching.
He tried to use his light skin powers to just be cool over there, and he got his ass whooped. And then my big homie Andre Chase texted me and told him that E-Ray had a teachable moment. So E-Ray will be back next week to tell us about his teachable moment. But, ladies and gentlemen, there has been some wrestling.
I heard, man. Even from the 80s, I heard there was some wrestling happening right now. I had to get back into the good foot. Get back here. Quantum leap my ass here.
Well, since the last time me and you were on the pod, BA, Sami Zayn is officially the honorary Uce.
Yes. He's accepted. He's in.
Oh, can I tell you that? I know it might be a little hyperbole here, but that segment from last Friday's SmackDown of Roman chewing out Sami, telling him to take the shirt off, Jey Uso thinking, thank God they finally see what I see, ripping the shirt off, and then Sami getting the honorary Uce shirt is the best segment that was not a wrestling match of the entire year for me. How are you feeling about that segment?
I have to agree. I remember you teeing it up saying like him not wearing that shirt is important, y'all, and I was like, okay.
Thank you. Thank
see
you.
it.
Someone recognizes my genius. I see the things they're doing. I see the minute details, and I'm like, this is
Professor
great
Dub
stuff.
was not on sabbatical Friday night. He was live in the living color. He saw it, and he was like, "That's gonna be something, y'all." And lo and behold, it was a whole little swerve action.
I said, it's not nothing. It's not nothing.
Yeah, and Jay thought it was something, but nah, man, he is the honorary Uce. I love it.
Honorary Uce.
I can't wait for it to blow up in everybody's face in the bloodline when something sneaky happens with him and his Canadian brother. But that's a whole nother discussion.
So how do you think it blows up? Does Sammy just fail, lose a match, cost him a match, and they just all turn on him?
I think it's gonna be a way nobody expects. I think people expect that situation, Dub, as far as the fallout of the honorary Uce.
Would you want to see Sammy kind of get on the phone and call? For some reason, he's just good friends with The Rock, and Rock shows up, and they say Rock's noticing what Roman's doing, and they kick Sammy out, and Rock's like, nah, that's not how we do things in the family.
I know this is the Agreeables Part 3, but I'm gonna have to disagree with that wild take, sir. That would be pretty wild if Sami Zayn just hit up The Rock, and of all the situations where we've been saying, "Oh, The Rock gotta be there. Oh, The Rock gotta be there." Who would have guessed? Of all people, Sami Zayn hitting them up on the celly to say, "Yo, we need you, Dwayne. Come off of that whatever Hollywood set you're on right now." He's not filming nothing, so he's chilling. So maybe you're right, maybe because the Black Adam media runs over, so you might be right.
I'm just saying, Roman said in an interview recently that if Rock Roman's going to happen at Mania, there's a much better chance of it happening per the Rock schedule now than it was anytime else we've ever asked about it. And also, I want to say, Cody said he wants to return after Rumble. Cody's winning the Rumble.
Could we see a triple threat match of all triple threat matches, or no?
No, because Rock doesn't need a belt, so you have to take the belt off of Roman, and they're heating up Seth again.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it's still Cody Seth for the belt at Mania, Rock and Roman for the family.
You bring up a good point with Cody. I don't know if we were going to touch on this or not, but I'm going to bring it up.
We weren't.
Trips. Being in the room now. Vince and Bruce Pritchard brought Cody Rhodes back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
And we know how, at least he tried to bury Trips at the first big show for AEW. So, I know it's cool behind the scenes, but, I mean, kayfabe is kayfabe. So
that's the interesting thing. Triple H is Cody Rhodes' favorite wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But when Trips was in charge, when Cody left, Trips was like, yeah, you're just not a top guy. So it's essentially when the bad bitch say no, you ain't got it. But then, you come back to the reunion and now you kind of got it now. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's all it is. But Triple H ain't gonna feel the way about it because he's all about the business more than anybody. He's just about the business. So he's not gonna feel a way about being proven wrong. He's just gonna be like, fuck it, I was wrong. Let's do it.
That's
true. He even said he thought John Cena was a B+ player at best, and pretty wrong there.
Yeah, and I guess it took him getting hurt and being out of the mix and really being a real executive to see the value of guys like a Cena and guys that they kind of were in his playing field, were in matches and feuds with him when he was going still towards the end of his career. So yeah, I can see, especially now, he understands this is all about business now. It's no click shit, no trying to get over on people. It's about what's best for business. What would Vince do type shit. So and Vince,
what Vince wouldn't do.
Oh yeah, geez, that's a slippery slope. Let me climb myself back out of that. But no, I get what you're saying. It's just interesting to me is that it could be absolutely nothing. Cody just comes in and Seth Cody 5 happens. So, which is probably going to happen. But I'm just curious the long term of Cody Rhodes versus how it was when Vince was running the show versus how Trips is going to take it. Could be the complete same, could be a little different, is all. So, yeah.
I would say, like, if Vince was still there, I think the Mania plans, I think those are pretty much set in stone as far as those two main events I said.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if Vince was there, Austin Theory would take that belt off of Cody at Mania.
Yeah, and more importantly, Austin Theory wouldn't be getting like kind of buried like he's been getting buried on television.
He's been getting his ass beat.
Yeah, man, he's been getting his comeuppance since Vince left. It's like that whole "Daddy ain't here" shit is low key real. He must have not been that much of a favorite behind the scenes. I'm guessing, or they don't. I mean,
they still like him,
it.
but they like him because they're still keeping him on TV. Like, you gotta remember, they can take that briefcase off somebody if they really don't like him. Like, they put it on Otis, and then you could tell they were immediately making plans to take it off of him.
I see what you're saying.
So they still like Theory. I just don't think Trips has the plan for him to be at the top the way Vince did.
Yeah, and I think he's he's in a prove it mode, and they don't want to just yank him off of Raw because Shawn Michaels said it as much. Like, NXT is more for literally our up and comers. Like, we're not going to be bringing veterans back, basically, like Vince was doing. He said it as much. So you can't bring Theory back after the rocket ship they already had him flying in the air on before Vince got in trouble and had to leave. So
yeah, I mean, and Theory will be world champion one day, and I think what Trips is doing is kind of smart. Like, you got to really show people like how much this guy can go.
Mm-hmm.
And like, in every spot they put him in, he's excelling. Whether it be on the mic, whether it be his facial expressions, in the ring, like, so he's excelling at everything they're doing. I just think they're gonna slow play it longer, like, because they have till next June to put that belt on him, or like at least get rid of the briefcase.
Mm-hmm. They got time.
So that I'm saying they got time. But I think if Vince was still there, Theory would get that belt at probably Mania off of Cody after Cody gets his moment, just so Cody can continue that chase and give them something to, build into SummerSlam with.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Trips might just be like, this is Cody's moment. But, Theory probably take that belt at, whatever one of the next two pay-per-views after Mania would be.
Yeah, and you brought me to like an interesting point, like kind of thinking about Cody and the chase. Cody is very much like 90s pre-NWO Sting. And hear me out on this. The reason why I kind of lean more towards Cody being in that realm is because Sting was most exciting when he was chasing after Flair, chasing after Luger, trying to win the belt. But anytime I feel like, because I was a big WCW guy in the early 90s, in all honesty, that's what my uncle was watching. And when I would watch the Sting matches, like, I feel like Sting would kind of hit flat when he was champion. But when he was chasing after it, there was more compelling story there because Sting had all these accolades and all that stuff. Very much like a Cody Rhodes. Especially this incarnation of Cody. Very, very much 90s blonde-haired Sting-like. So, yeah, I had to get that out there, even though I know it may not have a place here because Cody's not even wrestling right now, but I think it's relevant. Just about just where booking is and stuff.
Yeah, last thing on Cody, we'll get off the Cody topic. I think where Cody differs is that when Cody was champion in AEW, he was a championship of a company that he founded. So it didn't have that much validity to the chase. You get what I'm saying?
Correct.
And here he has no booking power, and he's chasing the thing that his whole family has been denied their entire run at this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see once they put that big belt on him, what that's gonna look like. Because unlike Reigns and Drew, he's not the chosen one. He was never the chosen one. He was the mid-carder who got fired, who had to go build his name and prove that he is a top guy. I think that's why this run with him having a belt is going to be different this time around. Versus in TNT, it's like, all right, you said you weren't going to go for the AEW title. You still put a belt on yourself.
Let's go make a title.
You want me to believe that you had to chase it. There's a lot of suspension of disbelief in professional wrestling as it is.
Yeah,
that one was just too much of a stretch for people, and then I don't know, it was just weird. But
it worked against him, man. In all honesty,
it worked.
It made people hate him.
His booking power worked against him, actually.
Yes. Oh, yes. But anyway, away from Cody. Love you, Cody, but you're not wrestling.
How do we
right
get
now.
from Sammy? How do we get to Sami Zayn from Cody? Man, we get to
The goddamn
nuts.
Rock. That's how, man. The Rock is such a lightning rod for all sorts of conversation in any direction. So yes.
So, do you think the Bloodline is the greatest faction of all time? Because I'm starting to lean that way.
Absolutely not, Dub. They're a great faction, but I can't agree with that all-time take.
Who's the greatest faction of all time?
The Four Horsemen, no doubt about it. Because without the Four Horsemen, you don't get the factions we've got growing up and we love. Because those guys...
Did they ever hold all the gold?
All the gold?
At the same time?
No. One of them was always chasing. I feel like Flair always had a title on him. Always had the big gold belt on him. Sometimes you would have like Arn and Ole or Arn and Tully be tag champs. I don't think any of those guys ever really held, like, I mean, at some point in time in their careers they did, but as Horsemen, U.S. title, TV title, maybe Arn, but nah, not like the Bloodline. No.
So, okay, another question for you. What was Flair and Ole's relationship like within the group?
Flair, like, Ole was like the bruiser. He was the muscle. Like, he was the old guard, essentially.
What was their relationship like?
It wasn't like that great.
Okay.
No, it wasn't anything to brag about. That's why Ole got put out as soon as he could get put out.
So we know Arn and Ole are brothers. What about Arn and Tully? Wait, Ole's not Arn's actual brother?
Nah, bro, that's not real. Dub was today years old when he found out
years old.
Arn and Ole are not real brothers. Mark it, folks. Check. Ding.
Can I just say that I assume that everybody they told us were brothers as children in wrestling are actual brothers.
But they sold it though. They look related as fuck. So I get why you would think that, but I've a Horseman documentary told me that they are not, in fact, real life brothers.
It wasn't until I learned that what the Undertaker and Kane's real names were where I realized they weren't brothers. I was like, all right.
or Bart and Billy Gunn. Like, I thought they were real life brothers as a kid.
Wait, they're not brothers?
Shut the fuck up.
What the fuck?
No, you working me now. There's no way you
I'm
thought
not.
No,
I'm not.
Stop.
I thought Bart just watched out.
No, sir. He is not a real brother of Billy Gunn. That is not even his real name. He's one of those guys. Wow. Oh, man. I love it. This is why everything is wrestling, and wrestling is so great.
Well, wait. Billy Gunn's real name isn't actually Billy Gunn, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Right.
I think
so Bart's real first name isn't Bart?
I don't think so. You remember the Brawl for All Dark of the Ring episode? Yeah. Dark Side of the Ring? Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, that's not his real name. I don't believe. Heavy kayfabe. Yeah, learning here, man. I'm blowing your mind, man. All this quantum leaping, man, bringing back memories. So yeah, it's all fresh in BA's mind. But yes, sorry.
The Steiner brothers are brothers.
Yes, they are real brothers. Yes, those are brothers.
They wrestled at Michigan.
Yes, that's all real. And you know, JR loved to remind us as children that they wrestled and were all Americans in Michigan. Yes.
Okay.
But yes, back to your original point, Bloodline. You're trying to get me to go into some sort of some verbal jousting about the Bloodline versus the Four Horsemen. So let me. You're right.
Okay, let me get to my point. So within the Bloodline, not only do they hold all the gold, they have interpersonal relationships between each member of that faction in a way that you only see in long form television and movies. But Roman has this relationship where he just likes Sammy. He just fucking likes Sammy. Jey Uso hates Sammy so much because Jey Uso still has PTSD from the 2 months of ass beatings that Roman handed down to him.
Right.
You know, who is it? Jimmy Uso. He's just actually friends with Sammy, and he almost has Stockholm syndrome of just kind of sitting there like, all right, Roman, you was right. Jake, you was right. I mean, not really, but I'm in because of this.
Please don't hit me.
Yo, it's E-Ray, the quasi bad guy, the Diet Coke of evil, the side god of pod, and I'm here to tell y'all, come check out my show, Binge Flicks and Chill. You never know what you're going to get, but we always talking some good shit when it comes to television and the latest movies. So we want to bring y'all in. We want to make sure you have a good time. You learn something, you laugh, you cry, you might stab a nigga or two. I don't know what you're going to get, but that shit's popping. So come check out Binge Flicks and Chill. And it's me, E-Ray, and I'm out.
Yeah, like, it's almost like, don't hit me. Like, I kind of want our family to be together. I know everything you're doing is wrong because, Roman, you're a sociopath.
Right.
And Jay, you have chronic PTSD, which
Big
decades
time.
of therapy would not help.
Big time.
But y'all my family.
Right.
And then you bring in Solo. Solo kind of has that same relationship with Sammy that Reigns has. It's just, I just like this clown ass nigga, man. Like, yeah. And then he's like, he's looking at Jay and Jimmy like, hey man, y'all gotta figure it the fuck out because the elders sent me because y'all was fucking up because y'all can't travel overseas because Jimmy got like 45 DUIs, you know. and then Roman established this new relationship with Solo, like, hey, acknowledge me. And so it was like, I acknowledge it. Like, there's so much interpersonal things there, along with them having this dominant stretch of, you know, every week we book somebody to take a title off of Braun Breaker. Every single week we do that.
Yeah, true.
But never, we're not taking the belt off of Reigns until, you know, Rumble or Mania. And that's been pretty much the same way since this pod has started. Right. And the same thing with the Usos. Who's taking that belt off the Usos? We don't even try to book it.
No.
And again, once they put that belt on Solo, we were like, all right, cool. He can hold that shit for a while. And then we're trying to put a belt on Sammy. Mm-hmm. And then every time they're out there, they deliver. Every single time.
I can't argue with that. None of these points that you're making. I can't argue.
They have the best story going in what could arguably be considered one of the best times in wrestling of like the past 6 months between AEW, what they're doing, and WWE post Vince. Like, I think this might be the greatest faction of all time. And the thing about other factions is it was about getting one guy over. Sometimes other guys would get over, but all of these guys are completely over.
Yeah.
Sammy's the baby face in the middle of the biggest heel faction in wrestling.
But they're not like heels though, Dub. Like, we're not
they are.
When I think of heels, I think of like our resident best friend. He lives in J-Mo's head all the time. Grayson Waller. That's a heel. So that's that heel energy.
Go back to when the bloodline started, when it was just Roman and Jay, and then they brought in Jimmy. They were booed loudly. And here's what, you know what they changed about what they were doing in ring and on the mic? Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We just love it now because we as a people are sick human beings.
That's
like there was always going to be people like me
nature.
And you and E-Ray who just like the bad guys because as grown adults we realized the bad guy's more interesting.
Absolutely. And the bad guy.
But when it started, they were sitting there beating up, you know, everybody's heroes of Daniel Bryan and Edge and Cesaro and Kevin Owens, and they were getting booed for it. But that's the thing. At some point, when you have like a long character like this, the smart mark feeling takes over. It takes over the crowd, and like you see, like, well, why do you guys like him so much? And then like the little kids and the teenagers and everybody will look to us old smart marks who are just jaded by our lives in general, and we're like, no, because he's more interesting. And I understand sometimes you have to be that guy to be that successful. And they look at us and like, because we're the cool ones to them, you know, that's how it happens.
I see what you're saying.
It's the same thing with the NWO. Like when Hollywood Hogan first started, they were booing. They were throwing trash in that ring when he dropped that leg on Savage.
Unheard of.
But you fast forward 7 months later, and the smart marks were like, "Nah, this is fucking cool. Like being the bad guy makes more sense." It's always like people say, like when you're a kid, you love Batman. When you're an adult, the Joker makes more sense.
I get that half of it.
That's kind of what it is. Like they're not doing anything different. They're just over because they're over.
I'm not going to disparage anything that you just said. I agree. But from the original argument of best faction of all time, that's where like I get kind of like I can't say that because first and foremost, the bloodline was booked with all the gold, as you put it, because they had no other choice when Vince was in charge to make it that way. You telling me, let's be completely honest here. We all love Trips. Everybody on this show here, not here right now, loves Trips, right? What he's doing since he's on the product. Do you think Triple H in his right mind is going to create what he did, how Vince set up this stable to have everything? And then your champion is now a part-timer, essentially, as far as how he's being booked. Do you think Trips would have set that up that way, Dub, in all honesty?
Probably not, but they put multiple belts on people before. No one's ever held them this long.
UE is a great example.
No, like dual tag team titles. Like, remember D'Lo Brown was the Intercontinental European Champion at the same damn time.
Yes, he was. Absolutely was.
People have held multiple titles.
Facts.
Seth had the United States and World title at the same time, but no one's held dual titles this long.
Correct.
Yeah, no one's done it this long. And it's not because they weren't over. Seth was over as fuck when he was dual champion. But the issue was they weren't this over to the point where you couldn't justify taking anything off of them.
Because of how can you? Like, when you have had your champion be his champion as long as he has been, to the point where not even champion, never hasn't been pinned as long as he's been. It's been like a solid 3 years since this man's back's been on the mat for 3 seconds with somebody pinning him.
Right. But think about when Seth was dual champion. He wasn't losing matches either.
But he was putting on banger matches and all that fun stuff. But he also wasn't beating people that you wouldn't have thought that he shouldn't have beat at the end of the day, until the end of his run, when they took the titles off of him. I think that's the things that the way Roman has been booked, period. And this is a good thing that I hate that I keep drawing Cody Rhodes in our conversation somehow tonight, but this speaks to more of why right. God damn you, Cody, love you. But he keeps drawing the fact of the way that Cody would win that title versus how titles have been booked historically in the past, where Vince has his guy, he points at him and says, "You're taking the ball and we're going where you go." That's typically how championships have been booked. So, and Roman has been the biggest example of that, I can say, in the last 20 years, of somebody outside of Cena being booked this way. And even so, when Cena was booked this way, Cena still lost matches here and there, bruh. Cena didn't just win all the time.
But then, okay, what about the Usos? They put both sets of tag titles on guys before.
True.
And they pulled one off, or they pulled both off.
True.
Like,
but who's your tag? The tag team division. My bad. Let me let you talk.
The Profits have been there. The Profits are there.
True.
It's right there. The Alpha Academy. It's right there. It's easy.
It's very easy to do. But once again, Vince did
But that's my point. Vince did that. But now there's a whole group of guys in there that aren't Vince guys, and they still can't justify to do it.
Not yet. They haven't been doing it that long, no, dog. Give them a minute. They gonna break all this bloodline shit up. I don't see this going. I don't see it being.
They have no choice. They have to at some point.
Correct, because of just how titles should be booked and what titles can do for the booking picture. You can't have it set up this way if you want to have a compelling show for 2 hours every Monday and Friday and pay-per-views that make sense.
But they're doing it.
They did. I'm not knocking that. Hear me. I love the bloodline. Me and you are very big bloodline
I think the longer they hold these belts, the more validity that argument holds.
The all-time argument? Nah. You didn't even hear my... You didn't even
By the time they take all these belts off of these guys, it's going to be like 3 years in.
All of them? Like, when nobody has anything and this isn't
when
even
nobody has a belt,
anymore?
They're going to be like 3 years in with all the belts.
All right, I can hear that because this will all start to break down next year, and at that point in time, we're looking at 2.5, 3 years. So I hear that part of it, but they wouldn't be doing this thing if they didn't see other people do it already. Is my point in the whole greatest faction ever. That last word ever bothers me, man. They're the best faction going right now, absolutely. I feel like almost neck and neck, like outside of because of Roman is what puts them over a little bit in this conversation. Undisputed Era's run is damn near as good as what's happening now. But Roman factor is what puts me over on Undisputed Era because Cole was not Roman. He couldn't have been booked that way because Cole's stature and how he is. But damn well know it. If they could have done that type of deal, they would have. But NXT didn't have the type of tools that the main roster has as far as belts and all that fun stuff and people and numbers. But that's where I say that the bloodline is great. But us in our microwave society where we just remember what happened yesterday, essentially, and we forget about the greatness of the past, I can't give him that best ever title, Dub. I can't.
Here's what separates Bloodline and the UE. It's the tag teams. You can tell me all day that Red Dragon is better in ring than the Usos, and you know what I'll do? I will agree 1,000%. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to a total package, in ring, on mic, presentation, the Usos are a better team.
No, I agree. To bring it full circle, they're the better sports entertainers than Red Dragon. Ooh. Yes. That's.
I see what you did there.
Bringing it all around, baby. So, with that being said,
that's why you couldn't book the UE this way on this level, because like people say, NXT was for the hardcores, the nerds of the nerds, and like that was going to be the UE's issue, where like Adam Cole can get himself over, talking into a plastic bag. Mm-hmm. Can everybody else?
Yeah, that's Cole can't speak for everybody, and I think the next best person that's cutting promos in that faction was Roddy. I think that's your next best.
And Roddy's not great.
That says a lot. So I feel what you're saying, man. Cole was the mouthpiece, and he made all them dudes look the part more because of how he talked. So, but I say that to say, like, I can't take away what the Bloodline's doing right now. I get why it was booked the way Vince was there. I see Triple H booking himself out of this. I think starting Survivor Series, you're going to start to see the pieces start to crumble. You're going to start to see some chinks in the shield of the Bloodline. And then from there, it's going to fall apart.
Do we get the Bloodline in a traditional Survivor Series match?
Not with this War Games thing looming, man. I don't think you're going to see that. I would love to see the Bloodline minus Roman fight somebody, but I don't think that's going to happen.
A couple of weeks back, I predicted on this pod that not on this pod. I predicted in the group chat that the War Games match is probably going to end up being Judgment Day versus Edge, Ray, Styles, and Riddle. Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah,
that's pretty much looking like it's going to come to fruition.
Yes.
And you can't have tag team versus tag team because the Usos hold all those belts.
Correct.
I don't see any reason why they shouldn't just do a traditional Survivor Series match with the Bloodline and, I don't know, fucking the Profits, Drew, if Drew can get past Cross. Who else? They got to establish
person in that
KO. They got to establish something for Solo.
Yeah,
maybe. You could do it. You could do it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think because it's Survivor Series, you may still get a traditional Survivor Series match with the War Games matches. You probably will. It's a big pay-per-view or premium live event for WWE, so you might very well get that. But my main thing is the Bloodline ain't gonna look how they look today after that event. Mark my words. Heard it here first, podcasters.
I'm interested in that.
I can see that. I can see even more so, Doug. We're not even talking about when Royal Rumble happens and these dudes got to be in the ring together. Some of these Bloodline members. So keep that in mind too. Something could happen in the Royal Rumble match that creates more friction.
Who would be in it?
The Usos aren't going to be in it. You might get a Sammy appearance. You said the Bloodline's like going to look different after Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming by different you mean Sammy's out. Sammy will be out, I think, at that point. So then Sammy's not in anymore. So the only person you got in it is Solo. All right. I'll back off from that take then, because you can't. They're not gonna you're not gonna have the Usos. You're not gonna have Roman in that match. So that would just leave Solo in there by himself. So I get that half of it. But I don't know, man. To bring it back full circle on what we were talking about, I just don't. Like the Bloodline is the best of our recent time. Like last 15, 15, maybe even 20 years. But I can't put them over the Horsemen.
I get it.
I can't put them over the NWO.
You don't want to get the recency bias.
No, exactly. I can't do it yet. I gotta
be a slave to recency bias.
I gotta treat them like a red wine, man. How y'all gonna age over time? Are people gonna come back for the hits or no?
You're talking about age over time. NWO did not do that well.
Whoa.
They did not age well.
Like physically, no. None of them aged well, pretty much.
No, the group itself.
Oh. No,
the group itself.
We all remember the glory days. Everybody talks about that first year. And then nobody talks about when they started to expand and took over the entire roster.
Most people older than us say the Wolfpack was an awful idea. I was a child, so I loved it.
Same. I was going to say, I don't agree with that.
I can admit that when they came back together, from then on, it was trash.
Yeah, when they meshed together, Wolfpack and Black and White back together, and then Russo started running the show. That's when it was unbearable to watch. I agree with that because literally everybody was in the NWO. But
and also Jeff Jarrett was in it at that point too, and I think I've said on this pod multiple times how I feel about Jeff Jarrett.
I get it. Double J ain't everybody's cup of tea. Neither really NWO Double J really ain't many folks' cup of tea. So no, I get that.
You couldn't pay me enough to care about a Jeff Jarrett match.
Yeah, none of them.
Not an amount of money.
Nah, I can't think of anyone that I would be like, oh, I gotta cut this old Jeff Jarrett match on. Outside of when Booker T won the title, that's like it, and he just gets lumped in there because Booker T beat him. So
it's like I gotta cut on the end of this Booker T match to watch him hold up the title. It's not Booker T versus Jeff Jarrett. No.
Especially not that match. It was like a bunch of stuff on a pole, if I remember correctly, falling out of boxes. So yeah, it was ridiculous.
Stupid.
It's like a 16-bit video game. It's a joke. But
yes, the only good thing Jeff Jarrett has ever done was pump some money into TNA to get it on TV so that I could finally see Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels on my television. That was it. Maybe
AJ Styles. I was gonna say maybe he can recruit those guys to come to WWE again.
AJ Styles needs some friends, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if you saw the end of Raw, but they was getting ready to do the whole chair in the neck thing that AJ Judgment Day was, and I'm just sitting there like, this motherfucker needs some friends, man.
Nobody running down the aisle for AJ. Oh, you would think even we ain't see Almost in like 4 months. Do you think he would have ran down the aisle?
He was on Raw.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
He beat up 2 jobbers.
Okay, that's why I thought Almost was gone. They were giving him NXT work on the main roster, basically. They're like, you can't put you in no serious storylines right now.
He's in great shape. They changed up his ring gear. Like, I think they're gonna get it right with Omos. To just kind of have him around and just like be a guy who beats up people, and then every so often you get a good story with him.
Yeah. Vince was treating him like Zeus. That's why they said he was like, "You're just Zeus. Here's a pair of jeans and a white."
I don't see him going for any titles anytime soon.
No, a guy like
he'd be a cool guy to have in like an elimination chamber.
Randomly a year from now, because he don't need to be in that match right now. I give you.
Yeah, like if you have an elimination chamber, you got. I feel like in an elimination chamber, you got to have 3 guys you can see winning it. 1 wild card who like is kind of getting the underdog, pull, and a monster, and your champion.
That's justified.
To me, that's how an elimination chamber should go. There should be at least 3 guys. You're like, all right, they could win.
Right.
Anyway, I think Almost could fill that monster role in the elimination chamber. Anyways,
he can.
Back to AJ Styles.
Yes.
How would you feel about seeing the Good Brothers come back to WWE?
I wouldn't be mad at it. They're just another tag team to be in the fold.
I'm not sure if it can happen based on their contract status because I think they're doing like some spot dates in Japan right now.
Yeah, they tried to get him back, to my understanding. They talked to him.
Yeah, their Impact run is way over, and they're just out of there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just weird, like having one former Bullet Club leader jump another one with his new faction. It's just inviting, like, hey, AJ Styles needs some friends. some good friends. Some
Yo,
friends
there we
that are
go.
like brothers.
Yeah.
Good brothers.
Yeah.
And you're like,
What up, y'all? It's your boy Smiles, aka Hip Hop Adam Schefter, aka LaJosh James, aka for all the ladies, the Chocolate Sauce Bandit. You already know what it is. Tune into an Audible Ruckus every week. And don't forget to check out my 2 shows at Shot vs. Smiles and Music Impulse on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, whatever. Tune in. It's your boy Smiles, and I'm out.
to me, it's writing itself, and I'm like, are they gonna show up, or are we just gonna watch AJ get beat up for a while?
You would think, man, they could work into the mix with AJ, but AJ's it's a weird situation with him. Like, you couldn't have said that better as far as the whole AJ needs friends thing, because he really ain't got, like, he's always going against like somebody that doesn't really, like, he's only there to have really good matches, I feel like, and not really building storyline.
It seems like it.
It's like they don't really know what to do with him. And that's one thing I can give Vince credit. He always made sure AJ was doing something. He was in some sort of picture. Now it seems Tripp's been running the show. He hasn't really been important, to call it what it is.
Well, you gotta remember also, AJ's old.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
Very old. Like,
Yeah, like he got college.
if I had to
age
guess,
kids.
I would say the only guys on the roster older than AJ Styles are Sheamus, and that might be it.
Yeah, it is a young guard these days.
Yeah, maybe
Full
Sheamus
time?
and maybe MVP.
No, MVP's not a. I can't put him in that conversation. No, he don't wrestle on the reg.
I mean, Randy's not wrestling, so I can't say Randy.
Nah, not right now.
I know AJ's older than Finn,
Yeah,
which Finn is old too, but
feels like in
I
his
think
30s
because-
though, right?
I think Finn's like 39.
Okay.
I think because Finn is like a smaller dude, he just doesn't look it.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio
And-
got away with that for decades. Everybody thought he
Oh,
was
Ray
in his
is old.
20s.
Ray is older than AJ.
There you go.
No, Finn's 41. Holy shit, Finn's 41.
Wow. Good for him.
Damn,
Looks like he's in
Good
his
for him.
fucking mid-20s.
good for him. Probably hasn't had a carb in like 50 years.
No, or he got some melanin in him, but he's one of the two. But yeah.
Black Irish. There you go. I see what you did there. Black Irish. I'm hip.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am hip. Yeah,
We
Ray's
do
older
have
for sure.
gingers. Yes.
Ray's
Yeah,
older.
man. I don't know who could you even see, like, book it out, Dub. We here for fantasy booking, man. Who could you even see them working in as a quote unquote friend of AJ Styles?
You want me to book
right
some?
now?
You want me to book some new friends for AJ Styles?
Please, I can't even think of any, like, from the main roster that they can make sense at this stage. Outside of Almost, 'cause they used to be tag partners. That's all I can think of. And that was forced. That made no sense, but they made it work.
I have fun with that. I like that.
I just didn't understand. Like, this guy doesn't need a heavy. He can handle himself. Like,
That's the point. That's the point. He
yeah, because
doesn't
he
need a
was
heavy.
He was healing at the time, so fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
okay.
that was the whole point. Doesn't need a heavy at all, but fuck it, I got me a heavy.
Well, you bring up a good point. I'm gonna let you book
know.
it out, but I have an idea too. If you don't,
I'm listening.
one.
I'm listening.
maybe this is just a way for them to turn AJ to the next member of the Judgment Day. Hear me out.
I thought about that too.
Because
Continue.
where else do you go with him? Where else? I don't see another path that makes sense booking wise where he's still on TV outside of he's about to take a break. Like you mentioned him being older. Maybe he's about to go away for a few weeks. They're going to break his neck, kayfabe, and he's gone. So that's like the only real two paths I see is either Judgment Day or AJ's getting a on-screen injury and he's going home for a few weeks to catch up with his family. But I don't know more than that.
So you would have to completely redo their looks, but hear me out here. Riggs and Jensen.
That's pretty. I can see.
Hear me out here. You flip their look up. You throw some vest on them. They don't smile as much. They don't talk nearly at all. and they're this new young tag team under AJ's wing, and they beat people up. That's just what they do. They're Briggs and Jensen. They beat people up.
That's not a bad idea.
And then you could throw in a couple. You could throw again. You got to change this whole look up. JD McDonough. Make him Jordan Devlin again. JD McDonough's stupid. Make him Jordan Devlin again, and he's just the Irish H that he was in NXT UK. Not saying I watch NXT UK, but when he was there, he was just this dog ass motherfucker who just had this crazy moveset, and he was just kind of an asshole.
Yeah,
like he was. So think of the way Butch is now, but like not as rabid, but he doesn't do it like physically. He's just ready to talk so much shit to you, and you get frustrated and you try to fight him. And next thing you know, he's headbutting you with that asteroid on his shoulders that he calls a head. And the next thing you know, he's putting you in this crazy match where he's breaking your hands, and then it can work. That's somebody you could put next to AJ.
I don't see Briggs and Jensen right now because I feel like they still got work to do in NXT, at least for the next 3 to 6 months. But McDonough would make more sense because he's more experienced. That's the only thing.
He's more experienced, and he's smaller than AJ, so he doesn't like dwarf AJ in any like sense of form.
Yeah.
And you could also, and he's still young enough that he looks young to where he can. You just actually look at him, and you say, okay, that guy defers to that guy.
Correct. Yeah, there isn't like a question of who's really the leader here.
Right.
No, that makes sense as far as people you can bring in, but like I said, Briggs and Jensen doesn't make sense right now just because they're not ready yet. Like I said, I could see that in the future for sure. They could be like a Good Brothers 2.0 damn near, just minus the Bullet Club history. But their whole vibe could just come out just being like these Southern boys that just like to fight type stuff. Kind of like Briscoe Brothers.
Saying. Like you would flip the whole gimmick up. Like you wouldn't do any of that. They would just be some young guys ready to learn under AJ. But when you get them in the ring, you're like, oh, they can kind of go.
Yeah.
But like what they lack in technicality, they make up for in, what you would call strong style.
Yes, aka just letting it go, shoot wrestling. Yeah, that's like it though, man. Outside of AJ turning heel, somebody coming up to save him from NXT would be his best bet. And I mean, the good thing is, I reiterate it again, they're trying not to use these older guys. They want these youngins to get their experience so it can be what it's supposed to be for the up and comers, not for people that have already have an established name and are just coming back to just try to get somebody over. Like they want to get away from that, I feel like. So
right, yeah.
I can hear that.
Yeah, and the rest of NXT is like legit children.
Oh yeah, man. It's and I love them, but you see it in most matches, like who's ready, and you're like, oh, I see why they're here on NXT.
Are you referring to me and E-Red's review of Sol Ruka's debut? Boy, because it was something.
Maybe you guys are ripping that to shreds. I was
just watching what I saw, and I'm like, she's just a gymnast. Like, kudos to her. She was a great gymnast, but that's all she is right now.
She need to go work with J-Mo's favorite tag team, old girl Casey, that was from American Ninja Warrior. All she did was flip. Because
when Casey Catanzaro was like doing her first real run, like you like, oh, she can flip.
He just flips around a lot. Yeah, she needs to go work with her so she can teach her some wrestling moves.
Yeah, and Casey Catanzaro is ages better than she was, when she began. But
there you go.
You see it, and but I think that's part of what you get to appreciate the kids on NXT because you watch the development.
Yes, that's a very good take on that, Dub. Just because.
And what's more interesting now is like they have more kids that are in that development stage versus, in the golden era of NXT, if you will. They had all these indie darlings, and you're like, oh, shit.
I see what you're saying.
Go.
There were just people that haven't gotten mainstream eyes on them yet, but these people have been wrestling for years. They just haven't gotten their shot yet. Whereas these people are
Right.
literally like fresh out of like college sports or like some sort of semi-pro something or from overseas, and they're just athletic as shit, but they have no wrestling background whatsoever. So they are there to learn and learn only in front of a live
Right. I
studio
mean, outside of
audience.
Apollo Crews, I think the most experienced person on the NXT roster might be Wes Lee.
I was gonna say McDonough. Yeah, Wesley will make sense because he's been down there for 5-6 years now.
Yeah, but he had a career before that too. Him and Trey Miguel and his other partner Nash Carter were the Rascals on the Indies. Which, when I went to that indie show, Trey Miguel had a match. Bro,
Can go,
bro, no wasted motion.
really.
Every single step he takes has a purpose to it. I'm like, I haven't seen that type of fluidity in a wrestler in a long time. I was like, this is the guy y'all couldn't get. I would have broke the bank on this guy. And I like Wesley and Nash Carter.
Mm-hmm.
But Trey
Interesting.
Miguel is legit. Anyway,
Yeah, that's interesting.
what were we talking about? Oh, AJ Styles needs some friends.
AJ needs
He needs some friends. And
Or turn heel.
NXT, and guys, if you guys are listening, because I know you guys listen, NXT has some friends for AJ Styles. If you guys want to call them up,
They might, man. You might see it soon. You either see that heel turn or somebody coming up to help him out because he needs something, bro. It's starting to look bad for him unless he's going home for vacation.
heel AJ is the best. I don't care what anybody says. Heel AJ is the best.
I agree.
Beat up John Cena is one of my all-time favorite things of all time.
Yeah, they had a good feud. God
Every
definitely
time you
helped AJ.
show up, John, we're gonna beat you up. Like, damn it, I love this so much.
Yeah,
God, why don't I like the heel so
we
much?
might get heel AJ. With that said, he's more
I'm not-
compelling.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. It'd be great.
I honestly
Extreme
hope it
Rules is a
happens.
great place to turn heel. There's a lot of weapons around.
Mm-hmm. It's teed up for it.
Yeah, AJ doesn't have a match on Extreme Rules yet. Have you seen the proposed Extreme Rules card so far?
No, I have not. Enlighten me on.
We're gonna do a full preview next week. You know, hopefully
we'll wait
J-Mo's
for
gotten
the
off the
fellas.
couch and J-Mo, not Jay, and E-Ray's done bleeding in the NXT parking lot.
We need Daniel Garcia to tell us already. Sports entertainer or not, we need J-Mo back.
But the card so far, we got Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey for an Extreme Rules match for the championship.
Okay.
We got Riddle versus Seth Rollins in the Fight Pit. We have Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. Which, pause.
Sure,
Bianca Belair and Bayley in a ladder match for the title. And
that's gonna be a great match. I feel like that's your match of the night. I'm not making no predictions, but I will say I think that's your match of the night. Not even hearing the rest of the card. That's match of the night.
The rest of the card is the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. Whatever the fuck that means.
Man, did Vince sneak in the back door? What are these gimmicks? I
don't know.
Donnybrook. He saw that shit in Kings of New York. So yeah.
And then we got Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match.
Oh, that's your Judgment Day turn. That's AJ running down the aisle to save Edge, but turning on him.
So, here's what I don't like about I Quit matches. I Quit is, to me, that's the ultimate submission.
Yeah.
Like, when you tap out, you're afraid something's going to get broken or you're afraid you're going to pass out.
Mm-hmm.
Saying I quit is like legitimately like, I can't do this anymore. That person's better than me.
Yeah.
And to me, it does nothing for whoever loses. It hurts them a lot.
I see what you're saying. It just shows, yeah.
And with the way they're building Finn as the leader of Judgment Day, he can't lose this match.
He's
But
not.
also, like with Edge being back now, it's like, all right, he can't keep coming back and then getting hurt and then losing these big matches. Like, he has to like win some shit. So if this were like a regular match, he could win and it'd be cool. And Finn loses nothing. Because if there's one thing Finn Balor's been doing since he's been called back up, it's taking L's.
Yes, job.
But this stipulation, to me, it makes it more difficult. To me, the stipulation says they have to add another member of Judgment Day in to do the beatdown of Edge. And at this, you know what I would do? You know what I would do? Now I'm thinking about it.
What's that?
I would have Beth Phoenix say it for him.
Oh man, that's tragic. I guess
The beatdown be so crazy, and her begging him to quit, and she grabs the mic and says, "He quits. I quit for him. He quits. Ring the bell."
I don't know if they didn't ring the bell. He didn't quit. I don't know, man.
You know what it does? It gets the reaction that they want off the crowd. It gets the boos.
Mm-hmm. It definitely
boobers come out
to death.
Twitter loses its mind. Finn is protected. Edge is protected. Set up your Survivor Series match.
I see. Yeah, that's not a bad way to go. I feel like the AJ turn's easier though, but I get that loss too because they both. But
you can throw the AJ turn in it, but then that also asks the question: if Judgment Day is your Survivor Series match, who teams up with Edge and Ray?
Good question. That's another. Yeah, you can't really, unless you know for a fact that match is happening, you can't book it that way.
Right.
So,
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. But anyways, are you excited about Extreme Rules? Because FYI, it is next Saturday.
Perfect. I don't have any obligations. Is it evening, afternoon? What are we talking? Hopefully evening.
Evening, probably at 7.
All right, normal time. After hearing the card, my interest is piqued. Usually, Extreme Rules is a nothing pay-per-view or premium live event, so I'm usually not juiced to see it. But there's a couple matches in there I'd pop for, I'd watch. There's 3 or 4 matches I'm interested legitimately in seeing. And surprisingly, one of those is the Ronda Rousey match. You heard it here first. You know why, Dub?
Because you want to see Ronda lose?
Nah. I want to see Ronda have weapons around her, and she's like this unhinged maniac that they're making her be. So she might, go off. She might really hurt Liv Morgan to sell the whole heel thing. So I'm curious to see what that'll look like. But yeah, I'm not mad at I'm not about to go have an Extreme Rules party, but I'll check it out. I'll watch, take it seriously. Maybe even live tweet y'all. We'll see. Who knows? So yeah.
So I have the hard decision to make because next Saturday is also the Toledo Zombie Crawl. Where everybody dresses up like zombies and goes to downtown Toledo and they block off the streets and they have beer carts and shit and we get really drunk.
Sounds
I
pretty
kind of want to do
problematic.
that.
Yeah. You absolutely should. It's definitely problematic though, but a good problematic.
How's it problematic? We're dressing up as zombies. We didn't say, we're dressing up as Native American zombies or.
True. I'm just speaking more from just Toledo and people walking around like zombies. Is it zombies just walk around Toledo in general? Who knows? But yeah, that's more my point. You don't want to get lumped into that crowd, though. They might usher you off somewhere, and good Lord, you're in the pockets of Toledo you don't want to be in all of a sudden. That's all I'm saying. Worried about your safety.
BA, the toughest person in Toledo wishes they were somebody from Detroit. And I can say that as I am somebody from Detroit.
Facts. I can't take that. You got that street cred. You do got that going for you. So nobody gonna fuck with you with that being said.
So I'm as I look at this card, I'm trying to decide, do I want to go to downtown Toledo a little bit later and just watch this card, or do I just hold off and watch it on Sunday?
Go get your drink on, dude. This is on Peacock.
Go be in these streets.
Yes, be in these streets, man.
Go be outside.
Oh yeah,
you're right.
Go do what you do.
You're
man.
Right. I mean, that was the decision I was leaning towards anyway.
This ain't the 90s.
Talk me
This ain't the 90s where you gotta wait till Tuesday to watch a pay-per-view in full.
I ain't gotta go to Blockbuster and try to find it.
Right. This ain't man. Time is on the times and technology have made it to where you can go do those things. So yes, you're good, sir.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Smiles, aka Hip Hop Adam Schefter, aka LaJosh James, aka for all the ladies, the Chocolate Sauce Bandit. You already know what it is. Tune into Inaudible Ruckus every week. And don't forget to check out my 2 shows at Shot vs. Smiles and Music Impulse on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, whatever. Tune in. It's your boy Smiles, and I'm out.
And you know what? And I'm looking at this card, I'm like, there's nothing on this card that, like, if someone spoiled it for me on Twitter or I happen to look at the group chat, I'd be upset about. Like, oh, I want to see it.
Yeah, it's a harmless premium live event. You don't got your tribal chief. You got just a bunch of kind of matches that have to happen for the sake of storyline. So it's what it is. It'll be something fun to watch on the weekend, but don't shift your whole weekend around it. That'd be that's not smart. I wouldn't do that.
I mean, I would love if it like started like right at 7, like not even the pre-show, just the whole thing started at 7.
Right.
And Edge and Balor were like the first match, so I could watch that as I was getting ready to leave.
That would be
perfect.
Yes.
That would be perfect, but that's clearly the main event, if we're being honest.
Chef's kiss for sure. But yeah, that's not opening it.
That's definitely fantasy booking.
Yeah. I can see one of those women's matches open up the card, honestly. But that's neither here nor there.
Ooh, open up with the ladder match?
That's why, honestly, they love opening up with like the women that are gonna put on a banger. It seems lately. That's even when Vince was still there. They were opening up. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. No, I wouldn't either. That's how they lock you in. These 2 women putting on a compelling match. I'm here for it. As far as the viewer that watching in blindly just here because they know there's a premium live event on TV. So yeah, bro.
So I'm gonna differ from you though. I think the match of the night is gonna be that 6-man tag.
Really? The Imperium and the Brawling Brutes? It's gonna be a good match. Like it's gonna be a strong style match.
It's gonna be a slugfest.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of just roughness going on. But I just know Bayley hasn't been in the spotlight for a match in some years, and I'm sure she's itching to put on a Uncle Dave 5-star match. So
the only reason I didn't say that match is because Bianca's never been in a ladder match.
She might not. She might be goofy for her.
Only reason I would say that.
But you got Bayley, the ring general, though. Bayley's been in ladder matches.
I know. I get it. But dancing is a 2-person thing, BA.
But I'd argue Bianca's she got a good 2-step, man. She knows how to kind of go in there and finesse.
She got a good 2-step.
Yeah, man. She know how the old brothers in the back when they gotta dance, they got their drink in their head. They go they do their little 1-2.
No.
Yeah.
No, trust me. I am those old brothers. I hear you.
So I think Bianca, if she feels lost in spots, Bayley's not gonna let her fall. That's why I say that. So even with that,
Bianca's not gonna be lost. But what I'm saying is, Bianca's. I don't know if she'll be able to deliver the holy shit moments because she might not know what they are for her. Like she can watch all the ladder matches in the world and know like what the old holy shit moments are for everybody else that's been in them, but she might not know what she can do in that type of environment yet.
True.
So you get what I'm saying?
And she's more of the, because usually ladder matches speak for those holy shit moments for more guys that have aerial attacks versus more just the stronger kind of ground game that she presents. So I get that way of thinking about it, but I don't know. Man, I can't give her that doubt because I haven't seen it. She's shown up and exceeded expectations in pretty much every match she's had that I've seen since she's been women's champion. It's gonna be a great match. So yeah, I agree. Both of those matches. I just want to put that out there to the universe. I'm not doubting Bianca Belair at all. I'm just saying the 6 guys in that Donnybrook match. I know what I'm gonna get. Facts. I get that. The known, if you will. You gonna get? But you know what's unknown besides Bianca's performance in a ladder match? What's that? The White Rabbit. Oh God, dude, y'all killing me with this crap. This White Rabbit stuff. We're killing you. It's getting out. I didn't start playing that song at arenas. I agree, but it's they are trolling everybody, y'all. Don't believe the hype. Like he'll show up at some point. I'm not saying Bray's not showing up, but they not gonna telegraph it for y'all. They're not gonna just hand it to you on a platter, man.
So have we settled in that it is Bray?
Who else could it be, Dub? I know we got all sorts of different. I've seen crazy shit on Twitter to the point where I just can't anymore. So that's why I'm just like, I can't care. People need something to do. Like, this is really crazy. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be Bray at the end of the day. They're trying to throw people off right now with all these other clues. So yeah, it'll happen. It'll be Bray, but it's not gonna be when you think it's gonna happen. Like,
well, they say the reveal is gonna happen at Extreme Rules.
I'm not buying it. It was supposed to happen on 9/23 on Friday too. So no, I'm coaching the game. I'm waiting for the text to see like, all right, what is he covered? All I see is just crickets, and I think a commercial break even happened at 9:23. So like, get out of here. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. Nope. So I'm not buying the Extreme Rules show up.
Better question. If it does happen at Extreme Rules, when do you do it?
Thinking about the card. Thinking about where that spot could be dropped in.
Drew and Cross?
Yeah, because of the whole Karrion Kross possibly being the White Rabbit too. You could throw it in there. I think that's the only place that it can go outside of just a random ass place that he would just appear in or like crawl out of the ring or something crazy. That's the match that it makes the most sense happening in. But even with that being said, that makes me even not believe it, because I'm just like, they gonna save that whole big build up for Karrion Kross and Bray Wyatt having a little thing.
Edge and Finn at the very end of the night. So it books out the way I booked it out. Judgment Day walks off to the back laughing at Edge and Beth. And Beth's trying to pick up Edge. Edge is getting a standing ovation from the crowd. Lights go out. Song plays. Lights go red. They're looking around. Lights go out again. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. And I still don't think that we're going to get any Bray Wyatt we've seen before. I think you're going to get a whole different character.
I'm interested in that part too.
I don't think we're going to get any of the Brays we've seen in the past just because of the hype around this. And I think Bray's going to have a lot more control over this than he did in the past as far as his character presentation. So I think he's going to do something. Like I said, it's not going to be what you've seen before, because those ideas were taken away from him and made into stuff that Vince wanted to see and the stuff that Vince thought would go over. So we're going to see the mind of Bray Wyatt at work, and I don't think he's going to give you anything that you can predict. That's all I can say.
Have you seen like all the clues and how they add up to things? And
unfortunately, yes, I've seen all. I've seen the Corbin, Texas nonsense and the Karrion Kross nonsense, the Edge
Corbin,
nonsense.
Texas, where White Rabbit Records is, the zip code that leads to Wyndham, Massachusetts.
Bro,
I'm like, fam, y'all got a lot of time on y'all hands.
They put them interns to work, man. That's all I will say. They really making them dudes earn their lunch, because that's all they're getting for
Not even the interns, the motherfuckers on wrestling Twitter who are trying to solve this, like the Scooby-Doo clues.
That's That's more where my frustration and exhaustion exists, is with wrestling Twitter. Because I'm just like, dog, how do y'all have the time to give a fuck to this level and come up with these crazy ass takes of this stuff that we're getting from Raw and SmackDown? So it's fun. I'll say that it's gonna be making it fun. But
I thought it was cool. Like it was just like something I read on Twitter. Like, hey, for some reason at this house show, the song White Rabbit played, and I was like, that's weird. I guess some sound guy got fired. And I was like, I literally just thought something happened and somebody probably got fired. And then it happened again. And I was like, are they teasing a new pay-per-view? And then something, I'm like, all right, this went from being nothing to something. And now it might be I would say the second biggest thing in wrestling right now. Outside of the honorary Uso himself.
Yeah. It's
WWE
definitely up there.
Scooby Doo Chronicles.
I'd argue it's the biggest thing in wrestling right now, just because everybody's talking about it. Everybody has an opinion. Whereas I feel like the honorary Uce thing kind of came to its culmination. Like finally, we've seen Sammy get his street cred from the Samoan family. So I get it.
Tribal chief.
Yeah, tribal
chief. Most of the family.
Rikishi side.
Jey Uso going through it.
Oh yeah,
Jey Uso going through it right now.
Absolutely going through it, man. Once he saw his pops give Sammy the honorary Uce like approval, that's when he probably really was sick. Like, even you, Dad? Like, what the fuck?
It's so great. It's
so great, man. It sells itself.
And that's just bringing everything full circle, which is what we do on The Agreeables, episode 3.
It wasn't a ton of agreeing, man. It wasn't that much. I was very much like, there's some things like I legitimately did not agree with you with on, like that whole bloodline best ever, because I've been seeing that all over Twitter. You notice I haven't tweeted anything out from our account about that shit. I'm just like, that's a little. Let's ease up, guys. Let's let these guys have their run first.
Get off my lawn.
Oh, fuck!
That's what you sound like right now.
I'll be that old curmudgeon. I don't care. Ebenezer A just walked in the building. He's here, and too many goddamn kids outside. Go to sleep. Where y'all parents at?
Someone who's been accused of being the old man telling people to get off my lawn for a decade plus.
Yes,
I'm trying to change a little bit.
I get it, man. I understand.
But maybe I'm leaning into the hyperbole. I don't know.
We gonna find out, but let these dudes how they run first before we crown them, people. That's all I'm saying. Their run isn't even over yet. Let's see what happens at the end.
Don't you want to be first? Don't you want to be the first ones to say it? If it comes out to be true,
I'm not the dude on the YouTube video that just type in first for no goddamn reason. I'm not that guy. I do not gotta be first, man. I am very much a slow mover. You can call me old shit. I don't give a fuck. I'll be that. I'm very much set in my ways in that light, and I'm not about to just crown these guys because they're the hottest thing in wrestling right now, and they're doing it the right way.
That Sonny boy until they get a fourth horseman. Hashtag, or what do you say? #, not my best ever. Ebenezer A out. And then you just quantum leap somewhere.
Oh yeah, man! Right back into the '80s where I can go
right back into WrestleMania 5.
I'm going to watch a promo, NWA promo, the Horseman, talking shit to Shivani. That's what I need in my life. Young Shivani, not the fat prick as MJF will call him now. So.
He's holding the cameraman for Crockett. Wow, holding the camera up for Crockett. Jesus Christ.
That's where I'm at. Show me a good old fashioned Ric Flair promo. I don't need anybody to acknowledge me. I'd rather watch that. That's just me though. But I respect.
Shit. It's so great as a heel gimmick.
It is. It's definitely over. It's good shit. Even like because of how he plays it in the public eye. Roman gets it, and I love it. But at the same token, like. These guys wouldn't be moving this way if they didn't see guys like Ric Flair do it back in the day on how to be a heel and shit like that. That's all I'm saying, man. You got to learn these behaviors from somewhere. They didn't just come up with this shit from thin air.
It's totally fair. Yes. Totally fair.
Yes, sir.
All right, but yeah, you got any other wrestling things you want to hit the people with before we get up out of here?
I've already
a short one this week, you know.
Yeah, we a little shorty, man. We gonna hopefully have the whole crew intact next week for some predictions on the new card. I got nothing else to go off on. I feel like I talked about Cody Rhodes entirely too much this episode, but I'm not mad at it because Cody Rhodes is a very polarizing figure, and even though he's not wrestling, he's still very relevant in this picture right now because he'll be back here.
Coming back at the Rumble.
As I say,
at the Rumble.
The end of this year ain't too far away, y'all. So, yeah. But, no, I got nothing else, Dub.
I got something for you, BA.
What's that?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. We're going to do a throwback episode.
Yes.
We'll discuss topics in the group chat.
Yes.
Because I feel like after Extreme Rules, I mean, we'll probably have to touch on the White Rabbit if they do reveal it. But from there, we'll have about 4 weeks until Crown Jewel. So we got time to throw in some random other stuff.
I'm here for it, man. We did a deep dive into NXT the last time we were on, so it can be done. We can get into the retrospect,
which we killed that. I listened back.
Yeah.
We killed that shit.
I thought we did pretty good as well, man. I think we're coming together as far as not just being agreeable all the time. You hear that, E-Ray?
Yeah.
Yes, we're doing very well at that. But yeah, I'm here for the retrospective. Like you said,
and we have like different dynamics, with each other as we pod. Like, people can't make it,
Yeah, man. That's why it's a team.
Making us like the greatest pod of all time, the same way the Bloodline is the greatest faction of all time.
See this motherfucker, man.
Vision.
Nah, I'm not talking. I'm gonna shut up now because he's trying to talk me into agreeing with him on this Bloodline shit, y'all. I'm gonna sit back while he take us home because I ain't taking that. I ain't got nothing to say about that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if you guys are looking for me on all the socials, you can find me at ADUB1220, or every Tuesday, me and John on the Embrace the Turn Up podcast. It sounds like I'm going to make a little guest appearance on Audible Rockets this week.
Hey,
which is always a good time.
It is.
BA, tell people where they can find you on these socials.
Oh, as y'all already know, you can find me individually absolutely nowhere. But you can find this illustrious podcast tweeting and all that fun stuff at Let Me Book Pod. Forecasting it right now, maybe so. Let me think. Next Saturday, y'all might get a live tweet. That's a live tweet action from the account during Extreme Rules. I'm thinking I don't got any football obligations next Saturday evening. So yeah, I'm looking like we gonna get some live tweeting here. Outside of that, I mean, as far as anything else to plug, I got nothing, man.
The movie pod still coming later this fall?
Oh yeah. BA DiBiase is also a football coach. I coach I'm a varsity high school football coach, so I can't, not like I'm just doing this once or twice a week. So once coaching is done, once the season ends, we are going to focus more on the movie pod. So once I have a clearer picture of that, you'll start hearing me pub it, but it's coming very soon, and I'm very excited for it because I get ideas every day for it, especially from my illustrious pod mates here that are going to be big time contributors. They just don't even know it yet to this as I record.
Wait.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know what pace I want to go at it. I want to do every 2 weeks, 1 week. We'll see, but it's coming soon, y'all. I just don't want to pub it yet because we ain't there just yet, but it's coming.
Nah, put yourself over it. You know what? If you don't put yourself over, I'm gonna put you over.
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Dub. You could be my man.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, remember that wrestling is everything and everything is wrestling. And please, just too sweet me when you see me. And we are out.
Peace.